later.
Okay.
And here we go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. It's a bright and beautiful morning. Sun is coming up over the trees right at this moment. Had a beautiful day yesterday. We got up to 79. I tell you, when you have been having to deal with the cold all winter, it's so nice to have nice warm air. I was taking my dog out for a walk yesterday afternoon, and I thought, my gosh, this feels good. Because the day before, we were cold. We were down in the 30s at night. And then all of a sudden now it's up into the 79-degree weather. The trees are growing their leaves. The flowers are blooming. The flowers that I planted in my flower garden, they popped up yesterday. They said, oh, sun. Let me have some sun. It's been too damn cold. So that is life here in South Carolina. Listen, I read an article this morning which kind of makes me feel sad because people don't know when to be professional. And there's a lot of them out there because now that they've got social media, they've got TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all these other places to go to, they are saying really unprofessional things about their bosses as they leave the door being laid off. Now, I don't know how stupid you think that is, but I think it's really stupid. Listen, we as employers, at least I do, when I'm about ready to hire someone, I search them on the internet. I Google them, I Facebook them, I Instagram them, I whatever else is out there, I do it. And if I find disparaging remarks against the former employers, I don't hire that person. Because that means that person, if I talk to them in confidence, it's not going to be in confidence. They're going to go out there and blab it on social media. So those of you who think that it's okay to go out there and do that sort of thing, it's not professional and nor is it ethical. Because, listen, we as employers, we look at it. Now, the problem is the Department of Labor last month, the National Labor Relations Board, ruled that employers can no longer include non-disparagement clauses in severance agreements. I think that's bad because at least that holds that employee or that former employee knowing that there's some rules. That yes, we're laying you off and yes, we're giving you a severance package, but that doesn't give you the right to go out and moan and groan and put your bosses down and everything else. That's highly unprofessional. And we watch that. What happens if your former company comes back and says, listen, we want to give you a new position. You know, times get better and the economics get better. And they come back to you and say, listen, we'd really like to bring you back on board. You were a stellar employee before. We'd really like to give you a new position with a new title, with a new dollar amount. But now they go out and they look at you and they say, well, why did you say that about us? You have to think about what you're saying and doing. Be professional. At all times, be professional. And don't go against your bosses and don't go against your former company. There's reasons why that happened. There are layoffs going on in the technology field and other fields now also. But the technology field is being hit hard at the moment. They're making their financial statements are strong, but the biggest thing on the financial statement is the fact that wages are the number one highest expense on the financial statement. So when times get tough, interest rates go up, the technology field slows down, things have got to be changed, be modified. And that means that employers are going to have to modify who's working for them. They don't like to do it. Do you think it's fun for them to do that? No, it's not. I've been in that situation where I've had to lay people off. And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. But the question is, why are they doing it? Well, financial reasons. Headcount has eaten up a lot of cash flow. And a company always needs to have a contingency of money just in case something else happens. But if headcount is eating up all the cash, things have got to change. So what are some key points of this? Is that some of the world's largest internet companies may have really strong balance sheets, but their employees haven't been able to avoid layoffs. From Microsoft to SAP, tech companies around the world have laid off thousands of employees since the start of the year. Tech companies that have laid off people have cited a slowdown in growth, which is true, and that they have or that they are hedging against economic uncertainties. Now, if you read what the federal bank said in their letter on how they're going to do stress tests on banks, part of the equation is to assume, in their analysis, that unemployment will be at 6.5% to 10% for 2023. So companies are testing, can you go with that? Can you accept that? How is that going to affect your economy? Because there's a slowdown. There's a big slowdown. So from the United States all the way across the pond to Europe and also Asia, global tech giants from Microsoft and Google to Amazon, SAP, and more have laid off thousands of employees, and we're seeing it happening every day. Accenture just announced, and you'll see it down below, that they're slashing 19,000 jobs worldwide. So there are going to be more layoffs coming along. As I said yesterday, Disney is laying off 4,000. Amazon's laying off another several thousand. And we're going to see this on and on and on. This first quarter of 2023 is a rough quarter on layoffs. But they've got good severance packages that you're not going to see them on the unemployment rolls for a couple more weeks here. And then we're going to see the unemployment numbers change. And by you going out and putting down your former companies during tough times, you're doing yourself a disservice. Remember, there are thousands of people that can take your job. And you just whittle down the chances of you getting back another job by going out there and slamming your companies that you worked for before, and disparaging them. I remember, you guys all should be lucky. I tell you, I had an office in the Philippines for several years. And those employees that were let go, their pictures were put in the paper, in the newspaper, and it showed that they were let go and why they were let go. You should be so thankful that we don't have that rule here in the United States. How would you like it if your former employer didn't like what you were saying and said, okay, let's go ahead and post her picture or his picture in the newspaper or on our website and say, hey, we let these people go, and the reason why. Then you might not be too happy about what the reason why was. We have to be very careful. We have to be professional at all times. If you're an employer, be professional. If you're an employee, be professional at all times. You never know when you never know when you are going to get that call from your former employer and say, "Hey, come on back. We love you." Or another company might call you up and say, "Hey, we're considering you for this position," but then when they do their due diligence on you, by the way, all of you companies out there, do your due diligence on employees. It's vital. Because you don't want to bring people in who are going to be negative and who you can't talk to in confidence. Because they've got TikTok accounts that they're going to blast you on or let secrets go. Gosh, I don't know how many people I have hired. I have had to fire very few people. I have had to lay off very few people. And when an employer has to do it, it's a tough decision that you have to make. We want the best for that employee to go forward and do better at another job. And when we have the ability to bring them back, we are so happy to be able to do that. In my company, our employees were kind of like family. And so we had a very good relationship. And we knew everybody's issues that they were having at home, that they were having with employees, where they were having with clients of ours. We knew it because we talked about it. And we tried to resolve it together. And when we had to let those people go because business went down, when business came back up, we tried to get them back. Every which way, we tried to get them back to come back to their old job because they were good workers. They were good employees. They brought value to the company. And they brought value to me. And I always remember those people. I have so many employees out there that I've worked with throughout the years, even in the Philippines, who still contact me and we talk about what's going on. But when we hear people going against you after a very good relationship on the job, but they're pissed at you because they got laid off, and they go out on social media and they talk with their friends, we look at it as an unprofessional response. We're going to have a lot of layoffs, more layoffs than we have seen in the past. Because companies are seeing that this inflation is killing them. This ability not to get product in is killing them. This working from home and not knowing what employees are doing is slowing down the process. And individuals who have become woke have become disgruntled employees. Even though you treated them fairly, they have this mindset. And it's a negative mindset. You laid me off, I'm going to get back at you. That is an unprofessional attitude. So I want you guys all out there who are getting laid off, who are losing your jobs, think about what you're doing, because you can go out there and find another job. Remember, anything you post in the internet lives on internet. It lives on in the internet forever. This is Mike Lodge. If you have a business question, send it to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. If you want to sit down with me and have a consulting time with me, go to www.lodge-co.com. You can book an appointment online. Everybody go out and have a great weekend. I'll talk with you on Saturday. Love you all. Bye-bye.